Five. Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, hi.
Episode 5 of Claiming Your Success Conversations with Caroline and Sabrina. Welcome. Today,
Hello.
today, you're going to get it because we're talking about your CEO energy. Putting those CEO pants on and taking ownership of your business.
Mm.
Yeah, there's so much that I think this conversation, in light of a lot of the things we've already talked about this season, is going to build on everything that's come before it. But I think specifically, Caroline and I have a lot of impassioned energy around this topic. So get ready to just for us to have like just a very straightforward conversation because this is a no BS zone, especially to this topic. Do you agree, Caroline?
Agree. And it's also just thinking now, like, why people might be thinking, oh, but we're only here just doing a little something just to get the extra money to be comfortable. And it's just like, oh, we're not trying to go that hard in business, but no, that's kind of it doesn't matter how big or small your business is. You are the CEO of your business. And please don't think I might be coming in saying it all harshly and stuff, but I probably am. So I'm still telling myself that I am still the CEO of my business. We still have to take it. That is the level of seriousness that you have to take a business. You're not just saying yes to anything. You're not just saying yes to buying an ice cream or going to the shops
Mm.
or wanting this to take control of your life and be the fundamentals of your life so you don't have to go to work and do all that. So you kind of need to be the CEO of your business. You need to. And that means so many hats, not just one hat,
Mm.
which I think people don't
Yeah.
actually understand as well, Sabrina, right? That actually you're not just a content creator. What else are you? What else do your team need you to be? Content creator, inspiration, motivational speaker, strategy. There's so much things that goes into it when it comes to being a CEO. When it comes to running your business, so that is the level you have to take it to. Sorry, I feel like I went 0 to 100, Sabrina.
No, that's perfect. And I have a question. Like, what is it? Do you think that? Well, let me say this first of all. Do you think that people don't get that when they first say yes to starting a business, whether that's in network marketing or affiliate marketing or content creation or whatever? Like, if you've got a brick and mortar business that you want to start, or maybe you're at like a CEO level that you're wanting to step into in a corporate environment, do you think that people don't understand that that's what they're signing up for in the beginning, or do you think that there's what do you think that disconnect is?
So they definitely don't get it, right? They don't get it straight away because I didn't get it either, right? But I'm trying to think of now one of my newest business partners because that's the mindset they have at the minute, to the point where they feel like, because it's something on this. Do you know what? I feel like, firstly, the word side hustle needs to be gone. It needs to be banned, because then people think it's something they can always put to the side, and it's
It's
not.
an
That's not
it's
how
an
it.
option.
That's no. Sorry, 1 second, screen. I need to move where I am positioned on my phone because it's covering your face. And I was like, "What, talking to myself?" So the word side hustle needs to come out, because that's kind of what the newest business partner had said to me. And then it was just like, oh my god, I feel like I lost my train of thought. Why they think that? I think I feel, again, it's down to belief as well. Especially where they're starting to make it so small. Because why would you not think you can go hard and go massive and go big with this? Straight away they then think, no, it's just gonna be something for the side. Doesn't need to be more. It will just stay that, because that's what they think it's gonna be. Am I making sense?
Yeah, you are making sense, total sense. Because, and I agree with you about the term side hustle. I think it
Oh,
needs to be banned too, because it kind of suggests that it's an option, as opposed to like it can literally be the vehicle to you creating
right.
a life of your dreams. Like, and that,
Literally,
if you're serious about your ambitions and your dreams, that's not an option, right? But
we need to
let me ask you
change the
this.
full-time job to the side
We need,
hustle.
yeah, yes,
That needs to be the
yes,
side hustle.
yes.
Yeah,
So
go on. Sorry.
what do you think it really means to, when we say step into your CEO energy or put your CEO pants on? What does that mean to you?
It means you can't come with no excuses, no BS. You need to get up and get shit done and just get it done. Find a way to get it done. You can't be talking yourself out of it. You can't be second guessing yourself. You need to just be like, okay, that's what, like, as soon as you think about it, you just have to do it. You have to. And even that, really think about the CEOs. the people who are CEOs of their businesses. You know, even go and have a look at their, if it's their LinkedIn, their Instagram, look at their stories, see their day to day. You will see how different it is compared to other people. One person I've started paying attention to is, I think it's Danny something. And he's meant to be number one network marketer and sales and all this jazz and stuff like that. And you look at him, he's still even that. He's a CEO, multi-millionaire, blah 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 blah, and he's still grafting the hardest. And people who want to say they ain't gonna get up and do the business because whatever, whatever, but he's still doing it, doing it. Do you see? Like, oh, sorry. What about you?
I like, for me, it's exactly that same thing. It means no excuses. It means really being connected to what the purpose of all this is for, and having a big reason for it. Like exactly what you were saying about the term side hustle. It's like understanding that this, if you started a business, regardless of what it is, maybe you started a podcast and you're hoping to monetize from it, maybe you started an Instagram page and you want to monetize influencer kind of marketing through that, whatever it is, right? If your goal is to earn income, you started a business, right? And so it's really understanding that when you do that, I don't know whether people have this idea that because they maybe didn't put anything down to begin, they didn't have to pay an entrance fee, or they didn't have to invest their own money into starting a business. Like I was a franchise owner, and starting that business was hundreds of thousands of dollars as a down payment, right? So I don't know whether it's because there's no skin in the game. They haven't had to put money down, that they feel
That
as
too.
if, oh, this is just whatever, right? But if your intention is to earn money, then your intention should be that you take that seriously. Like, why would you think that somebody's going to pay you? It's almost like having this entitlement feeling, like that you should just earn an income because you did some things,
Because you said yes.
because you said yes. It's
Yeah,
like if
literally.
somebody's going to pay you, it's I see money as an exchange of energy, right? It's an exchange of energy. You do something and you receive back, right? But you have to do a hell of a lot more in the beginning than you ever see coming back, in order for down the line, you've done so much that so much comes back to you when it feels like you're not doing a ton. But all of that front end action, that has to come first. And I feel like putting your CEO pants on really means being able to have that trust that what you're doing is going to have is going to get the gains that you're wanting down the line, but you're not going to receive those gains from day one. And part of that is like having the patience to have a day 171 when you start receiving the earnings. And that's not sexy to people. And I just don't think us women, we're that like fickle that we need like our flowers today. We need our trophy today from the work that we did today. I feel like us women, we're much more resilient than that. We're much more gritty than that, that we can put in the work today to receive our flowers in 120 days. Do you not agree?
I mean, yeah, but then it's like people, that's what it says, the women, especially the women who I'm around who are like in within my community, it's like, why I just don't understand why they're fine with putting in those 37.5 to 40 hours a week, but then when it comes to that Saturday, oh no, I'm going to sleep until 12. I don't get that, I don't get that. Because that is where you should want to work on your business. And then that again, it's just going to go with the connection. Are you really connected to why you're doing it and what it's for, and does it
Let
align?
me ask you
Because
this, Caroline. Sorry to interrupt, but let me ask you
no,
this,
no.
because something that you just said, I want you to roll with this, because I think our listeners are going to get a lot out of it. You just said why they won't put in, they're willing to go out there and give all their time, all their energy to somebody else's business essentially, but when it comes to building their own, it's like, no, I haven't got the energy for it. Do you think that is also how they show up in their life in general?
I do, because then it kind of, that's where they're so stuck in this cycle of, okay, next week, okay, next week, okay, next week. That means they're putting on off loads of stuff, which people don't actually realize. Where me and you can analyze the person and see, we can see more than just the disconnect in business. We can see the disconnect in a lot of areas there, a lot of inconsistency, you know. Um, sorry, say that one again. Like
Yeah,
that
no,
bit
I'm
with disconnect
saying
with the.
because this is not just about being a CEO in your business. I think
No,
this
it's
is
not. It's your
truly about
life.
being a
It is.
CEO in your life.
And this is where people will. So okay, yeah. Now I'm getting now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because all I've done right is started to be that the CEO in business, and then what happens is then you start to want to expand and then cover all areas. For lol, this is going to sound so silly, right? But where I'm at now in a stage of looking after myself, to take a little trip to the dentist, and that's something I haven't been
I'm
in.
going to
It's
the
going to be
dentist tomorrow. I can't.
ugh. No, but
Anyway,
I hadn't
carry on.
been for like 10 years, right? I can't stand the pain. But I tell you, right, where I was at was, and I mean, Tara was going on the last 3 years. Caroline, you going dentist? Caroline, you going dentist? Caroline, you going dentist? I was going to go when I was ready. And where I got to a mindset level where it was, Caroline, you're not scared of anything no more. You're going to go to the dentist and get it done, you know? There was a reason why I was saying this, Sabrina, and it is gone now. Uh, oh gosh, what was the first thing
About
besides?
CEO in your
See,
life. It's how you
that's it, and
show
then
up in your life.
you start wanting to get all the areas and make sure you are a CEO in every single thing, and you're looking after everything that's going on. So that's where the dentist trip is happening. What happened on the back of that dentist trip? I made sure the next one was booked because I'm being a CEO of my life and taking ownership on every area of this body.
Mm,
That's what
mm,
happens, you then start to
mm.
level up in every area. So it's like the ones who are not doing it in business, that means you could have you have a health or a fitness journey that you're probably not sticking to. Your eating habits you're probably not sticking to. Could even be chores around the house that you're not sticking to. You'll start to see all those areas. Oh, what am I doing as well? Sorting out a balcony. That was never something I was tackling, but I want to make sure this house is match level up with Caroline now. You'll start to do all that in all the area of your life. So you really have to evaluate what you have going on around you, how you want it to look like, and just start working towards it. And I swear, when you start working towards it, it's like all these things just start getting attracted to you. Let me tell you something, Sabrina. Trust me, this universe want me to keep on top of my teeth this time because I got gifted from a company to start promoting and sharing teeth whitening toothpaste. It was so random. Sorry, that was just a random
Mm.
one in there.
No,
But you
it's
see what
true.
I
It's
mean? It just starts to
yeah,
expand.
1000%. It does. It starts to expand and kind of snowball on each other. And I heard
Yeah.
somebody say once, they said, how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Mm-mm.
And it
Yes.
really made me think how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you're in a position where you're putting off doing the work to build your future, you're putting off doing the work to build your business, you're putting off doing the work to improve your health, whatever it is, where else is it that you're putting off hard work?
Yeah.
Where else is it that you're negotiating with yourself that it's okay that you don't show up with full energy, intention, focus in this area? Because that's going to be the limit for you. Caroline, when did that turn around for you? Like, when was it that you had that turning point when you started claiming your leadership and your CEO energy and your ownership over your life and your business? What was that?
I knew you was going to ask that, right? And I feel like, honestly, I think it's going to be for everyone as well. It's going to be when you've gone through the worst of the worst that you thought you could ever have gone through, right? And then it's more the fact that you still made it out the other side whilst you were still showing up through all that noise. Now, there was something that happened. I know exactly when it was for me. It was the back end of 2022, December. I went through something with work, could not believe it, and I still continue. If I look back now, I don't even know how I even managed to get through it, Sabrina. I proper don't, looking back now. But I do know my dad definitely 1000%. But like literally, like it was quite a lot. And then knowing that I still stuck to the plan, kept focused, because the main thing was knowing that I knew I didn't do nothing wrong. But it was just the fact that, do you know what I mean? You can't control other people, right? Knowing I didn't do nothing wrong, standing strong and just sticking to the plan. That's all that got me through that. Stick to the plan. Don't even think and just keep those wheels turning. That was where, as soon as I came out the other side, knowing that, sorry, I was untouchable because I didn't do anything right.
Mm,
And then more the fact that I still managed to stand strong as well, even though I was feeling so weak inside. That's where I was like, sorry, gonna be an F bomb. Fuck that shit. I am the CEO and I know what I'm doing, X, Y, and Z. It's more like clarification, you know. It's
mm,
like a lot of us need that clarification to be like, okay, maybe I might have had a little bit of doubt in myself then. But then for the fact that I got through it, it then was like, yep, no one can tell me nothing now. I'm going with it. Oh no,
yeah,
my
I
lie.
love that. So it's like self-trust became the foundation of your decision making, is what I'm
Yeah,
hearing. But
yeah.
then also there's a difference between seeking clarification and seeking permission, right? Like you weren't looking for somebody to give you permission
Nope.
to
Yep.
go out there and take responsibility and take ownership for, how you were going to turn this around. But you needed clarification. And that came from some of those external BS things that
Yeah.
happened, right?
Yep. And that's honestly what I
I
feel like.
think
I feel like when people hit the lowest of lows, that's when they be like, okay, that's it. I'm now something's going to change. Now I've got to do
mm,
something. Do you think?
mm. I think it's interesting actually that you say that, because I was listening to an interview that Will Smith did yesterday, and he was talking about there's two places where this thing kind of happens. You
Mm.
either hit rock bottom or you get to your cliff top. And he was like, it was an incredible
Ooh.
distinction he made. You hit rock bottom, and that's usually where most people, just what you're saying, like you get to a point where you're like, okay, no more BS. You
Yeah.
hit something happens and it makes you turn things around. That's your quote unquote rock bottom. But he was talking about how you can also get to a cliff top where you've achieved all the things, you've earned all the money, you've earned all the accolades, you've had all the quality experiences, you've had the best relationships. You get to the point where you've had everything, and you go off the cliff because now you're still not happy. You're still not in this place of like validation or worth or whatever, because that whole climb to the cliff top has been looking externally for the things to validate you, and looking externally for the things to say, oh yeah, you're doing a good job, oh yeah, you can carry on doing that, oh yeah, keep going with this because of X, Y, and Z thing. You're still looking out there for permission. And so you get to the cliff top where you've had all of these experiences and you're like, well, I still don't feel confident in myself. I
Because
still don't
like,
trust myself. I still don't believe in myself.
because that first thing I was going to say was that they
And
didn't
he
sound
was,
like they was doing anything for themselves that they truly wanted
yeah,
to do if they still weren't,
exactly.
you know.
Yeah, exactly. And he said that when you get to that cliff top, you go over the edge and you end
Yeah.
up hitting that same place as you would have hit in the rock bottom. And so he was talking about how the only real way to build something of significance in your life is to do so building the foundation of you, building the
Mm.
foundation of you throughout it all. And I think this is so important because I think we're in agreement about what being a CEO in your life in general means. It means who you're becoming through the process of it all. It's not just chasing the income goal. It's not just chasing the vision board moments. It's who you become through the process of all of that. That's putting your CEO pants on.
Literally, and that's the disconnect. You've got the people who are actually working on themselves and doing like me and you, Sabrina, and then you've got the ones who have got the income and their vision board attached to it. And those are the ones that are not being the CEOs. Those are the ones that are going to stay stuck, not going to keep moving, right? And going to probably going to get so much more frustrated. But that is what it is. It's the journey that people are not wanting to do, and that is what it takes to be like, think of a CEO. Any CEO is gonna be, getting their stuff done in the morning, probably before they even do anything and whatnot. They're gonna making sure they're eating right and looking after themselves. They're gonna make sure they're gonna be doing some movement. They're gonna make sure they're gonna be doing some meditation because they're making sure they're looking after them first before they're going into their busy day because they know what it takes. It's like we're letting you not know what it takes at the same time. It frustrates me more because it's like I feel like we're giving so much and people still aren't doing what needs to be done, Sabrina. And it's just
I
like
know.
I feel like
What
sometimes
would
we. Oh, yeah, go on.
what would no, I was just going to say, what would you say to those people then, Caroline? Like, especially the ones that say to you, well, I don't feel ready to lead yet. I don't feel I don't feel like I know enough, or I don't feel like I'm experienced enough. I don't feel like I've got enough skill. Like, I'm not ready to take this to the next level. What would you say to that person?
Right now, I say, oh, don't worry, they'll see my stuff soon and come to me. No, but that's what I heard on one podcast. Is like that person's going to go to the person who's continuing to show up. And I think I heard that about 5 times before I thought, I'm going to be that person that continues to show up. So it's me. What am I going to say to that person? Oh,
Think about like a business partner that you have, or somebody that you're mentoring, and they say to you, but Caroline, I know that I need to do all these things, but I just don't feel like I'm good enough yet, or I'm skilled enough yet. What would you say to them?
do you know what I do? I've gotten really good at not talking at people, right, and telling them what they should do. I wait until there's a scenario that I then can clap back at them. For example, that was today, this morning, right, where I was talking with my mentee, and I was like, and they were telling me about them speaking to someone they connected with at a networking event, right? So it wasn't a friend or anything like that, but they've just built their connection, and they're in two different countries. One's in UK, one's in another country, and they're having a conversation quite a lot. But the conversation I'm hearing from her is not, it's not a friendship conversation. It's more, he is mentoring that person. So what I done was left her to talk, done all this, and I turned around and I was like, "Can I tell you something?" They were like, "Yeah." Just to let you know, you did it. You just held a free mentoring session for that person, and they were like, "Excuse me." I was mentoring someone. I said, "Yeah." Why'd you say that? Because you provided so much value. Now, the reason why I do it that way, Sabrina, right? Because if I was to go and talk at someone, I know they're just going to shut down and not listen. I know this now. Like, I know this. So now what I have to do with some people is that I actually have to throw it back at them when I know they've done it or they've witnessed someone else doing it so they can understand better. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah,
Because,
100%
yeah,
makes sense. That's called mirroring, and it's actually such an effective mentorship or coaching like technique, is to allow them to see within themselves where they're demonstrating these kinds of behaviors, rather than telling them what they need to do,
yeah,
giving them the opportunity to see that that is actually what they're already doing. And I love that so much, because it's so effective, because it helps people kind of get over that barrier of, well, I'm not ready to, or I can't, or I don't have that skill, and help people understand that actually you're way more skilled than you think you are. Actually, there's
mm-hmm,
way much more you're capable of doing than you think you do. And so I think that's one of the subtle ways that seeking permission shows up for people. It's like they have the skill, they have the ability, but they almost need somebody to tell them, to give them permission to really roll with it, right? Would you agree?
yeah, I used to be like that as well in work. If no one had told me, well done, Caroline, you weren't doing this, that, and all of that, I would then feel like I wasn't performing. But then what I actually realized is that I didn't actually need to have that extra bit because I would keep moving anyway. And that's what business has taught me now, that actually, Caroline, you don't need to seek the validation of others because you're going to get X, Y, and Z done. You know how your work effort is 110. You don't need no one to tell you that. None of us need anyone to tell us that.
Say that again, Caroline, please.
None of us need anyone to tell us that. Dear hair
We
flick as
don't.
well.
And hair flick. I think it's because it's that self-trust part, right?
Yeah.
It's like being able to trust yourself enough to know that you I heard somebody say this too, that entrepreneurship is jumping off a cliff and building the plane on the way down. Jump off a cliff and you're building your plane on the way down. And then I heard someone else
I'll be
add this,
gliding on the
and then
wind.
get somehow get people to pay for tickets at the same time.
I mean, that is perfect.
And
Don't
I
worry,
think
don't make
that's
that
so
plane.
true.
How about my plane?
I think
£100,000. Yeah,
it's
yeah, come on.
I think it's so true. Like, my plane barely has any wings. It's got half of a fuselage. It's got 1.5 engines, but I'm gonna charge you to get on that
Come
shit
on,
with me, because we're
come on.
going somewhere.
No, but
Because we're going
that is,
somewhere, right?
yeah.
We're going somewhere.
That's a
That's
good
the
way.
thing. And I
That's good.
think that part is like really understanding that people want to be part of something that is going somewhere. But for them to be
Hmm.
able to see that you're going somewhere, you have to step into that. I don't know exactly what this looks like, or I'm trying to figure it out. That's CEO. That's a
Hmm.
CEO. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly how this is going to figure out, but this is what I'm doing. Come with me. Let's build this together. Let's figure this out together. Let's go together. You don't have to wait until you've got $10 million in the bank account and you're living in your dream home on, I don't know, Lake Como before anybody's going to come and join your business. Like, don't be
Hmm.
stupid. And I think that's what people think, is that I have to be this massive success flying around in my own jet and taking helicopters everywhere before anybody's interested in listening to me.
Do you feel people sharing? I mean, even that, because I did have my mentee say to me one time, one of my mentees, Caroline, can you start sharing what was for you before? What used to be? And I was like 50-50. And I was 50-50 because, firstly, who showed me how it was before? Meaning, I didn't have you keep flicking back shut on your social media, keep showing how it was before and things like that. That's not. So why do you think that person asked me that? Because I was a bit like, that's extra work, but I could do. But then I was like, but why do I need to do that? What do you think? Because I felt like I shouldn't. I felt like, ah, where am I?
think
I'm fifty
I
fifty.
think that the question is asked because we do want to see that, right? We do want to see, like, we both follow Grace Beverly's career quite closely, right? And I think you're the same as me. We've been following her career since she was at university in Oxford, and she just started Shreddy, and Tyler wasn't even on the radar.
Mm,
And so we've seen her growth and her business growth and her business acumen grow and all of that. We've seen it. And for me, that gives me so much like hope of the
yeah.
possibility of where it is that I want my business to go, because I literally saw her from her university dorm room build a multi-million dollar business, right? So I think people want to see that. They want to see what things were like. They want to see the trajectory, because then they can see possibility for themselves. If they can see your origin story and see how things were for you, that may very well be exactly where they are currently, then
Yeah.
they can see where the path could be, right? But I don't necessarily think it has to involve more work. I think it doesn't mean that you have to pull up all your old social media posts and like demonstrate. I think just telling your story more could be
Do you know
powerful.
what?
That's one
Do you
of
know
the
what? Just,
things for
yeah. Now, how you explained it made sense, because what has just come into my head, right, is now me thinking that I'm not, because I'm now, how am I trying to word this? I feel like I'm being made a bigger deal than what I'm thinking I'm at, my level I'm at. Does that make sense? I think that's what's come to my head now,
mm,
meaning where my mentee was like, oh, you need to show us where you was and blah, 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 because I'm thinking, but I'm not even halfway yet there yet. So what are you talking about where I was
mm,
before? Because I'm
mm.
still where I was before,
You're still
I'm just,
grinding. You're
do you know
still,
what I
yeah,
mean? Yes, I think that's why
yeah,
that
yeah,
confused me now, thinking about
yeah.
it. 'Cause yeah.
Because you don't exactly what we were just saying. They don't see their capability. They don't see what's possible for them. They don't see the good that they're already doing. You're victim to that too. I'm victim to that too. I'm sure Grace
Yeah.
Beverly has moments of that too,
Oh
where
yeah,
we're
you're
just like, we
right.
don't see our own growth. We don't see how much of a different human we are, because we're not telling our story enough. You're not connecting that thread enough, right? So for
Mm.
you, Caroline, and this is like a coaching session you didn't ask for, but you're going to get it. For you,
Love
I think
it.
I think it's like just weaving that thread more into, you do such a great job of projecting forward what it is that you're working for and what it takes
Mm,
now for you to build that. But connect the thread from before too. This is where I was. This is what used to be real for me to get me here in order to have the vision that's going to get me there, right? It's like it's all a journey. And I think so many of us negate how far we've come because we're not
Yeah.
as where we want to go yet. But how far we've come
No,
has got us to
right?
exactly this place.
Oh, so that means I'm just going to do a video of me doing a story and dashing my phone and running.
And tell the story. This is what it used to look like. Yeah.
Or the hot
Like,
sweats when I've got
because,
the ring light on me doing a live that Sabrina asked me
yes.
to do for the team.
And the notes she'd taken, she was reading from the notes on the side, when your eyes dart to the side. This is where it begins,
Oh
guys. Like,
gosh.
for those of you listening and you have that kind of imposter syndrome, I don't even want to give it a big posh name like that, because
Mm,
it's just a mindset. But you have that thing where you're still seeking permission, you're seeking validation, and you don't think you're ready to lead, you don't think you're ready to whatever. It's like understanding that you have to take radical responsibility for your dreams. You have to.
hmm.
And that means showing up today when you don't feel ready, when you feel a hot mess, when you can't get your words out right, when things feel as if you're just talking to nobody. Now is when you put in the reps. You practice getting on your stage now, so that the day comes when you're on your stage, you're ready. You've already
I
you've already
mean,
done it.
they're with us right now on this journey. They're with us right now on the podcast journey because this is just season 2, episode 5. What do we have from the back of season 1? It was like just over 50 subscribers. What are we going to have after the end of this year when there's been 3 seasons? You know, that you lot are literally going to witness it. You might see us, you might think we've had a fantastic season 1, we're going to have a great season 2, thinking we're going to have a great season 3, when actually it's probably going to go bup, 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 and a bit down, before it's going to probably go back up again. And that, you know what? I can't wait for them to see when we get to that part, because that's going to be the gold, especially when we go down and they see us go back up again, Sabrina. We have gone over time.
And notice how Caroline said when that happens. Like, that's part of being a CEO. You know that it's not going to be smooth sailing. You know
Hmm.
that you're not just going to have this upward trajectory for your entire career. And that, having that expectation and that understanding is huge, because that's part of where people struggle to put on their CEO pants, is because they think that when they have that moment where it's hard or something doesn't go right or they fail or whatever, that's proof that they should just hang it up and it's not going to work.
Oh,
No,
that's
that's
proof that
part
you
of
got
the
to keep
process.
going. Yep.
Yes.
Oh gosh,
Yes.
Sabrina. This is a good one. I didn't even realize 33 minutes.
Oh God. This was a good one. I think it's if there's one thing that I can say, and we're a little bit more subdued in this conversation, as you can tell, like our energy is a little bit kind of more introspective. I think because we're deep in this still.
Yeah.
Both of us are. Like, neither of us are standing on like a mountaintop saying, come and join us, the air up here is great. No, we're still on the climb. We're still on the climb. We're just a few steps ahead of you on your climb. And that's what this journey looks like. So come on the climb with us. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for somebody to come and validate your efforts. Step into your leadership, step into ownership of your dream, and start climbing.
Beautiful. I think
That's it.
that was a nice way to end that. Yep.
That's
Start
what we got.
climbing.
I love it. Thank you for listening, guys. Give this a little thumbs up if you enjoyed this. Please share this episode with somebody that you think needs to hear this message.
Hmm.
Spread the message of what we're doing here, because I think there's so many people that it will serve. And consider subscribing to the podcast. We would love that. Be part of this growth process with us. And let's just keep going after these dreams, okay?
We can
Thanks
keep
for being
going.
here, Caroline.
And
So
you,
good.
Sabrina. So, so
I'll
good.
see you. See you next time.